Hi everyone and welcome to my channel Hisame Artwork. This video is going to be the autumn update, and I'm also going to do a flower pixel art drawing tutorial. I have been asked to do this, so I'm going to try and do my best to do that. So let's start here. This is the house. This is Amy's Dutch building mod. You can see how I did my house in the other videos. I went for a Bavarian style. And you need the seasonal mod to have this and to change it each season. All the links will be in a pinned comment below the video, as always. Everything that I used here, and also you can find the list on my blog for all the mods I have ever used in any of my videos. So I made a list there for you guys, so hopefully it'll be easier for you to reach and see. So the grass is a mod, the chickens are a mod, retextured. Come on, chicken, let me out. Okay, you escaped. How sneaky you are. So these are the free giant crops, and I used the crop ring to speed that up. There was previously an issue. These are the giant crop rings. It's a mod. Links will be in the pinned comment. So like I said, there was an issue before. For some reason the machines, custom machines, were having a conflict with the crop ring, I think. I don't know if because the Fabergé makes rings, and maybe there was a conflict there. So I have the Fabergé mod, and it lets me create jewels like rings, but you can't equip them, so they're not equipable. They're just artisan goods, and you sell them. And it looks really nice. I really love this mod. I'm so happy that somebody finally made it. I was thinking of doing it myself, but it was kind of low on the list, so I wasn't thinking that I would ever see one anytime soon. So here they are: jewelry enchanting table, Fabergé bench, and jewel crafting table. And I can also spawn them. At the moment I have throw them to the trash because there were some other issues. I have so many mods and there are a bunch of conflicts everywhere. So this is an update. It's a work in progress, because you guys said that you wanted more behind the scenes and how I make all of this stuff. And it's mostly retexture. For those of you that don't know, I am a graphic artist, so I mostly do retextures and tweaks here and there on the different mods. I don't get into any programming because I will just break everything. So this is how the farm looks. It's a Hilltop farm. It is a vanilla farm. I had in my other videos the Immersive 2 farm, and I love that farm. But the issue was that it was too hard to install, and my sister wasn't able to install it, and she would just teleport from place to place. Well, this farm is vanilla farm layout, and therefore we can play together using the makeshift multiplayer mod. Here are the animals. Retextured llama, goat, cow, pig, and I have a baby deer. Let's see, it's 6 AM. I can unfreeze the time, and hopefully I'll remember to go at 9 o'clock to morning and get a baby goat and show you guys. Hopefully it's not overcrowded, so I'm gonna first sell some of these. Yeah, Mr. Pig, because I'm not gonna save this anyway. I'm just gonna show you guys how they look. So the rivers are fishable, for those of you that don't know. Artichoke, vanilla, cranberries, vanilla, grape, vanilla, and I press the N because I have the cheat mod, so I can force these to grow faster. The T is vanilla in the game. If you look in the Spring object files, you do have T, but it wasn't implemented for whatever reason. And this is a mod, a crop mod. In order to have the tea, and I want to do a Neko Cafe here again like last time. This is the shed. I haven't done anything there yet. You can check out my other videos what I've done and how that Neko Cafe looked. Here I have broccoli and it's ready to harvest. This is a mod and you can eat the broccoli. Extra crops, and you can see here peanut, bell pepper, bunch of squashes and potatoes and things like that. Eggplants, Jimberry, you know it is vanilla. Here I'm growing beets to harvest. And I left some of the logs around here to make it look more woodland. This is the slime hutch. Again, I haven't gotten into this one yet. It's on the to-do list. And here I put a bunch of custom crops, mushrooms. I'll put it back in here. And these are maitake, oyster, pink mushroom. It's not the real mushroom, I think. Rosula mushroom is poisonous. You're not actually supposed to eat it. I think it's more of a decorative feature, even though you already have the poisonous mushrooms, the red ones, in the game. But maybe I'll retexture and rename them and do something else with them. And this is how you edit a crop. So you open the text file for it, and you can change the names and other things like that, description, and you can change how the texture looks. Let me open it. And so I'm using Photoshop. You can use other things as well, GIMP. I already did a video about how to edit the crop file, so you can go check that out. I'm not gonna go over it again here. So here I'm having a little forest, and I haven't gotten any mushroom tree yet, and I think again it's one of my mods that's interfering with that. I also haven't gotten a meteor. This one's fake. If I get a real meteor, that would be awesome, and I can put it here. So this is the table which I retextured, and it's in the craftable items. So here this is craftables indoors, and I will open craftables. You are in fall, outdoor, and you can see the meteor here. So that's it, and it used to be a table, and you can get it with the item spawner and the seasonal mod. You do a combination of them. I press E for the item spawner. So this is CBG's item spawner. All of these mods, you can find them on Nexus Mod. Some of the retextures are on Starbound. You have to make an account on both of these so you can download the textures. What else do I gotta... Oh, it's 10 o'clock. I can go get the babies, and I'll show you guys. Wow, Marnie's working for once. Yes, purchase animal. So I want a baby sheep. I haven't been able to install the more breeds mods. I had someone give me some tips about what they did. I tried to do like they did, but it still didn't work for me. I don't know what the issue is. I'm not even getting any errors. It's just that it's crashing, and it's really strange. The game freezes. and then I can't do anything. I have to close it, and I'm not getting any errors in the error log for Smoppy, which is strange. So let's see, baby cow, there he is. Baby sheep, and baby goat is a deer because it's not producing any milk anyway. Go away, Mrs. Cow. Okay. Cut the. There it is. So somebody actually did this mod the day after I took the texture and did this, so it was kind of funny because I had to waste a couple of hours because the textures weren't working properly and there was some error, and then someone made them out and I was like, oh, why didn't I find this sooner? So this is how it looks so far. Trees, plants here. I'm gonna go here where I have some more room because I want to show you guys a seasonal tree that I made because I wasn't getting the mushroom tree, so I got annoyed and finally decided to do my own tree and to change with each season. So I have the sapling here and I retextured it. So this tree is a mushroom tree in the again, I forced it to grow. So it's a mushroom tree in the autumn, and it is a palm tree in the summer. And let me just show you guys, I think it would be easier. Ghost tree, there we go. So this is how it looks for each season. So spring, it's kind of a willowy thing. Summer palm, autumn mushroom, winter holly tree, and the crop that I changed is the ghost fruit tree sample pack from the JSON assets mod. So it gives you some crops that are examples of what it should look like, how it should be structured, because you get this thing here, the text file and what it does and how it works. So it's really easy for someone like me that doesn't know how to program to kind of just change this and make my own trees. I'm gonna try and do a coconut tree later. At the moment I'm kind of still focusing on getting all of the custom greenhouse and cave working and the other buildings, and then I'll fill it in with the details. But I wanted to show you this because I think it's really neat to have some summer trees that disappear. Now the issue is, as you can see here, because it clips a bit, I'm not getting it. See, it clips here in my head. And the reason for this is that the base texture is bigger than the space of the texture that it's occupying. For example, here it's 2 slots, 1 and 2, and another one here. So it's 2 slots for the building. Let's see, and I can't pass here. Okay, so it's 4 slots, tiles on the building layer. For those of you that don't know, everything in Stardew Valley is kind of structured on 3 layers. Let me show you. So this is the tile editor, and you need it for editing the maps. So for example, this is the greenhouse map, and as you can see here, there are 3 layers. The back, which is the stuff that you walk on, grass or asphalt or whatever. Then you have buildings, things you can't go through, like walls or table. And then on front you have the stuff on the top that you can go under. So here I have a little sign, and the characters go under the sign because it's supposedly up above. So that's how things work. And the thing is, for my ghost tree texture, So normally you have the root here, so when the tree is cut, you're left with that stump. And I'm gonna show you another tree. Trees, fruit tree, almond tree, okay. So see here you have the stump. So when you cut the tree you get the stump, and then you can cut the stump as well. And I don't have this here because each season the base of the tree changes. So I would have one stump for 4 types of trees, and it didn't work like that, so I had to remove that. And what happens is now if I cut this tree, it disappears completely. So I don't have the texture, but the building, the obstruction is still there. So you see I can't go through that because that's where the invisible textureless stump is. So I need to cut this as well. And that's how it works to have a seasonal tree for now. If somebody else, a programmer, can do something that it will take a different texture for each season, that would be great, because if you're left with a stump like that, maybe, I don't know why you would want the stump of the mushroom tree, but it's like incomplete now, and you can be left with invisible obstructions. But that's the best I can do, and I want that, and I'm gonna put the tree here in several places for decorations. I don't know, I'll put, let's say, here. I want at the entrance to have a mushroom tree that will turn into a palm tree in the summer, and so on. This is just be a pretty decoration. Oh, it doesn't work to plant it anywhere. Let's see if I can put it here. Have to dig the area. So I didn't do the programming on this, I just changed the texture. Yep, and you can see it does the clipping, so I'm gonna have to destroy the roses here maybe and put something else for decoration. Then I can have a mushroom tree and then other trees as well. So that's how this works. Now I'm gonna give you a short tour of the greenhouse to kind of show you what has been updated and what I plan to change as well. So here I need to work on these lamps. I changed the wisteria trees to make them look more like a wisteria tree. Here I have to put the flowers again, so I changed some of the names of the flowers because I changed the color. So it was silly to have white roseum or white daisy, and the daisy was yellow and the roseum I made them orange. And then I had to change a whole bunch of other things for them. So I had to erase the flowers because they were getting an error, and they became invisible. But now it's okay, so now I can plant a roseum and it's working. I mean, I would want to put a seed packet here as well, because I always get the product with the seed confused. I mean, it's still weird that you go over it like this. I mean, I would like to change it to look more like a seed, but this is just how the artist made the graphics for it. And I want to change it so it's more with what I want. Also, I changed the papaya tree because papaya trees, I looked online, they had papayas down below, and cocoa trees as well. And if I cut it, see, oh, I cut the stump. I didn't want to cut the stump. It would leave a stump. Yep, see, it leaves a stump. So I changed those to look more like the trees. I've eucalyptus tree, I think that one is. So I changed it to have more like silvery foliage because that's one of the eucalyptus trees that I really like. Or the other one is eucalyptus, I'm not sure. They're trees that I'm not familiar with. But I look online at pictures and I try and reproduce it. So this is a olive tree, and I'm really happy how I changed the roots to look more like an old gnarly olive tree. I just love that. I saw a lot of them in Turkey and I really enjoyed them, so I changed those to look more closely to what I like. Of course, you guys can do whatever you want. I'm sure that the modder that did this just didn't have the time to do the perfect texture for each tree. They just did the best they could, and it's really easy to change. Like you saw, you go, you change the PNG file, and then you just save, and it's okay. And these are the dragon fruit trees. Again, I changed them so they look more like a cactusy tree. See, it leaves that stump. I'm not gonna save this day, so don't worry that I'm destroying things. They're gonna be fine. Here I just planted a bunch of stuff that I like, a bit of everything, because I wanted to have them all together and be like a collection. Here there are green peas. There still seems to be an error. It's not showing. Sometimes when it's ready to harvest, it's not showing the product. There were some errors with the file, like the green pea didn't even show initially when I used it in the old mod. They're still working out the kinks. Always be on a lookout to update your mods if it's something that is really bothering you. And always do a backup for this. Here I have a bunch of stuff as well that I enjoy. For the kitchen that I have here in the greenhouse, I want to do like a farmer's market restaurant kitchen kind of thing and just cook a bunch of stuff. And I got a whole heap of new recipes installed. I had to take out the husbandry mod, but I want to put it back in, at least the recipes, because it had a lot of extra meat recipes that I don't have anymore. I have steak, but there are a lot less recipes, you know, like a third I think. Here you have a tea, and you can drink this tea. These are the custom machines. Platonimus custom machines is yogurt maker, butter churn. I have these explained in more depth in my other videos. You can go check those out. They're in the farm interior house tour. They're in the house tour videos because the machines are inside the building. And there's some other stuff down there, but you can see it in my other videos. I don't want to make it even longer because I still have to do the little tutorial, so I'm just gonna go quickly here. I have mushrooms around tree stumps in this area here. This room I haven't decided on its purpose yet. I'm still working on it. I wasn't able to fix the cherry trees. I just took it out and it seems to be okay. For some reason it wasn't reading properly that part of the texture down below, as you can see here. Half of it is missing for whatever reason. I think it's not reading that part of the texture properly, so I think I'll just move the texture somewhere else, and I have to repair that as well. So this works like the spa in the mountains. I still have to animate the light bulbs. There's still a bunch of little things I have to finish, and once I finish those I will do video tours like I did for my other farm. This is more of a tutorial type of thing because, like I said, I've gotten a lot of requests. I get a lot of messages. How do I do this? How do I do that? I forgot to put it on freeze time. Okay. So now for the mini tutorial parts. Here I have my fruit tree mod where I put flowers on all the trees in spring so they look pretty. You can find my mod on Nexus Mods, and also links will be in the pinned comment below the video and also on my blog, so you too can have a bunch of pretty flowering trees in spring. So one way you can do a flower in this game, because it's pretty complicated to do pixel art if you've never done it before, and this is why I'm doing the tutorial, because I've been asked by people that never done it before, and you can't just draw a flower because it will be too big. So everything you do is like pointillism, like that expressionist painting style with points. So they together they suggest an image. So your flowers, the simplest flower you can do is 4 white or red pixels and a yellow pixel in the middle, and that's like the most basic flower you can do. If you want to get more complicated and fancy, you can try and do something like this. I try to do a pomegranate flower because they're just such big, beautiful blossoms, and I love them, and I try to kind of do them. I did try different shapes like this thing, which kind of looks like a flower, depends. Try to do a rosebud, a flower bud, and I tried different shapes, kind of experimented on this tree. It basically boils down to what you like. You can get a bit more fanciful with these shapes. These are still pretty simple shapes that anybody can do. If you feel comfortable, you can start doing more advanced flowers, and you can start going more complex. And I do suggest you go and look at what other people and other modders have done. And the patterns that they use. There are also a lot of tutorials online for doing pixel flowers. Another thing that I do want to and the rose. So this is a pretty complicated, like it's hard to draw roses on paper, let alone on pixels. So this is not a design that I came up with. It's some other modder that decided that this looks like a rose. And I kind of have to agree. Looking on other roses from the distance, I'd say that this shape is the best to suggest it. And as you can see, it's, let me get a color. So the basic is these 6 pixels here and then a line here. And that's is enough to suggest to us that it is a rose. And you can play with the gradients. Now, with what colors you use and how you use them, this is where color theory comes into play, and color harmonics. And this is really hard and complicated to explain, but I found for you guys a video. It's 10 minutes long, and it explains this very simply. A very simple way that anybody can basically understand it, and I will put the links in the pinned comment below for you guys, because there's just so much to talk about it, and I think he simplifies it very well in explaining how to put colors together so that it looks good, because the issue is our brain isn't perfect. It's not a computer. It's not a camera. Our eyes are not cameras, but the way that we see things and the way that the brain processes what we see greatly affects our perception of things. So you can be really tricked by colors, and you have to have a good understanding of how colors work and how they go together to get the result that you want, because you might put some colors together and you see that you don't have what you had in your head. In your head there was something else, and what you did is not what you wanted, and you might feel disappointed because you think it looks like crap. So you really need to understand color theory, harmonics, whatever it's called in English, so that you can get the results that you want. So that was kind of it for the tutorial. I'm not sure exactly what other details I can give you extra aside from links, because it's such a long and in-depth discussion. Um, and for pixel art, it gets simple. It's easy. For example, because it's isometric and because it's pixel art, anybody can do this. So like, don't be disappointed if your first try isn't exactly as you want it. You have greater chance of getting a good result in the end and faster. That's why so many video games use pixel art and scroll down flat platform or is isometric layout. For example, I'm a graphic artist, like I said before, and I have a comic book, and each artist has a different style, and you do need more than one person to do all of this stuff. For example, for my comic, my friend does the line art, and she's very good at drawing faces in an anime style, much better than me. So that's why I asked her help to do the faces. So each artist has their strengths and weaknesses, and that's why they generally work together to do this. But with pixel art and isometric, one person can do pretty much everything. That's the I guess the charm of pixel art and why it's so widespread. Because if you're a small studio and are low budget, with one programmer and one graphic artist, you can make a game. And I've worked at a little video game company before, so usually if you want to do good graphics and for a big game, it takes a lot of work on the graphics side, even more on the programming. So um, definitely start out with pixel art and see how you like it, and don't be afraid if it doesn't go out the perfect way you want. Another thing that I want to tell you guys, never scale anything for pixel art. I learned it the hard way. I mean, I always knew that it's a bad idea to scale up a bitmap, so a raster image, not a vector image, a raster image. When you scale it up, it becomes blurry. The issue is with pixel art, if you scale down, it becomes blurry. You can never change the size through scaling. You can split it up into pieces and draw the extra and basically redo the whole thing, but it's a bad idea to scale down. And let me show you as an example. So this beehive, it looks very clear, right? And if I scale it down, it will become blurry. See? So it looks like crap now. So you have to be very mindful of the size you start with. You have to know in advance the size that you're going to be, and it's a great idea to have grids so you know exactly where it's going to fit everything. So here I can only make it this size with these many pixels. That's all the room I have for my situation, let's say. So I have the beehive, whatever I do, it has to fit in there. And also you have to have a high contrast between the colors. You might not have the same level of contrast if you drew something with 300 pixels resolution, A4 size. If you did a big painting, you wouldn't have to worry so much about the edge contrast, maybe, because you would do it will be detailed and you will see. But again, if it's a thumbnail, then it becomes blurry. Again, this you have to be very mindful of the size. For big paintings as well, but when they're printed on a wall or you see it at the cinema, then you can see all of the detail, and you don't need to worry so much about the contrast. But here it's always gonna be small, so you always have to have good contrast between your pixels. So for example, here you can see it's almost black, and this other one is almost pure red. It's getting close. So they're very different. There's a high luminosity contrast. Or this one's green and this one's orange, and you have contrast through color. while if you don't have enough contrast, it will look blurry when you take it out. So for example here, I didn't put enough contrast in my rows. When you zoom in, it's okay, I can tell what it is, it's fine, it looks good, I did a great job, pat myself on the back. And then when I put it out in the game, suddenly it might not seem as good because I don't have enough contrast. Let me get a rose where the colors, I didn't think it through too much. Let me see and give you a better example. So for example, this one is pretty pale because I have some color overlays I explained in the other video. So here there's not enough contrast between the dark purple and the light purple in this rose, so it's not as well defined as this one, which that rose there basically looks black and white. It's a high contrast rose image. While here is not enough contrast, and you might find that it looks kind of blurry, it doesn't look that great. I don't mind it that much, but when I have time I will go in and tweak the colors some more so that it looks closer to what I had in my mind. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and to keep changing it. Ideally you will know what to do perfect from the start, so you don't need to keep editing and keep fiddling and constantly having to update these. But it is part of the process. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have to correct your stuff a lot. And if you want it to be like you want in your head, then be patient and get it the way you want it in the end. If you don't have time, it's okay. There are plenty of modders that have already done these. You can take those what they are and maybe just tweak the colors a bit. Be careful of the community guidelines, because of course if you do something that isn't yours, you cannot share it. So many of these mods that I've done, I'm not going to share them because I took graphics from other modders that they let you take the graphics and edit it yourself, but you're not allowed to share without their permission and you have to email them. So that was also a bit of copyright tutorial there. Hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you find it useful. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I do look over what you guys write to me so that I can help you, because I know how hard it is not to have anybody to ask about these. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.